according to your testimony, NIH grants are critical research?
I think that government research of all types in the medical and
Including
public,
birthing people?
I think bench research of all types plays a fundamental
What is a
role.
birthing person?
Sir, I am here to talk about the DOGE impact.
Well, I'm
for
asking
working
you about this
families.
grant and you're defending it. So I'm asking you who is birthing people?
I am not familiar with this grant.
Mm-hmm.
I take a position that all kinds of government research, medical, pharmaceutical,
Is a birthing person a woman? Is that another
biological-
word for female?
When a government witness refuses to define what a woman is, dodges every tough question, and tries to defend some of the most absurd uses of our tax dollars, that's when you know the American people are being played. And today, Brandon Gill exposed every inch of it.
I'm going to like to say thank you to the witnesses for being here and for taking the time. Ms. DeVito, thank you for coming here. In your testimony, you said that Americans deserve a government that works for them, a government that makes their lives easier and more secure. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Great. I'd like to read through a couple of the grants that DOGE has pulled back, and I'd like to get your take on them. They pulled back a $1.5 million NIH grant to Morehouse College. It was called the Center to Advance Reproductive Justice and Behavioral Health among Black, pregnant / postpartum women and birthing people. Do you think that that makes Americans' lives easier and more secure?
I think that medical and scientific research of all types.
Do you think that
benefits-
constitutes critical research? According to your testimony, NIH grants are critical research.
I think that government research of all types in the medical and
Including
public-
birthing people?
I think bench research of all types plays a fundamental
What is a
role.
birthing person?
Sir, I am here to talk about the DOGE impact.
Well, I'm
for
asking
working
you about this
families.
grant and you're defending it. So I'm asking you who is birthing people?
I am not familiar with this grant.
Mm-hmm.
I take a position that all kinds of government research, medical, pharmaceutical,
Is a birthing person a woman? Is that another
biological-
word for female?
That is outside the scope of my expertise.
Seems like erasure language to me. I've been told that type of vernacular constitutes erasure language. How about another one? How about the conference, Gender Equity in the Mathematical Study of Commutative Algebra? Do you think that that's a valid form of government spending?
I think mathematical research of all types is deserving of government.
What about
investment.
studying, and this is directly from the National Science Foundation's website, women and non-binary mathematicians?
Again, I think all kinds of government investment should be dedicated toward mathematical.
All kinds of government investment.
scientific-
You don't have any kind of limit on what we're spending our money on, just everything? Is that your testimony?
I am talking about DOGE. You brought up.
So
a
am
grant.
I. This is a grant that DOGE cut.
I am not familiar with this particular grant,
Mm-hmm.
but I think government investment in mathematical,
Okay.
biological.
Let's do another one. This one is called hashtag Transcendent Health, adapting an LGB plus inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys. I can't even say this without laughing. Do you think that that is a useful form of our tax spend?
I am not familiar with that grant, but I think bench research, government investment in scientific and
Teen
pharmaceutical
pregnancy
research.
for transgender boys. Do you think that that is a useful spend of our tax dollars?
I think government investment in all kinds of scientific research is of the utmost importance.
Including pregnancy prevention for transgender boys. Okay. Let me ask you, we can come back to this later maybe. Do you support abolishing the filibuster still?
I am here to talk about DOGE respectfully.
Right.
and
We could abolish the filibuster and get a lot of DOGE cuts through. And you've written at length on your Twitter about abolishing the filibuster. I'm just curious if you think that we should do that still.
I did a lot of previous work on different topics because I am an economic policy expert, and respectfully, I'm here to talk about DOGE cuts.
Okay, but we could abolish the filibuster and get DOGE cuts. This is totally germane here. Do you think we should?
I am here to talk about DOGE cuts, not strategies for achieving more of them, but the harms that they have produced for working families.
That's a convenient change of opinion. I noticed that most of your comments about the filibuster were during the Biden administration. But we can move on. Let's go back to some more of these grants. Do you think that we should be spending money on, quote, the racialized basis of trait judgments from faces?
I am not at all familiar with that grant.
It's a $500,000 NSF grant.
Okay, I am not familiar with the subject matter or the
But
particular
you're
grant.
defending these.
I am saying that I think the government
You're pretty
has-
adamant against DOGE cuts, and I'm asking you if you support the cuts
I think that
that
there
DOGE
is
has found.
economic and medical, public health, communal benefit to
What
the
about
government
cross-sex
investing
steroid therapy and cardiovascular risk in the transgender female?
Again, I think government investment in scientific research is
Right.
important.
Thank you for your testimony. I appreciate it.
The gentleman's time.
What we just
Useful
watched was
form of our
Brandon
tax
Gill
spend.
doing exactly what
I am not
every member
familiar
of
with that
Congress should be
grant,
doing.
but I think
Demanding
bench
accountability
research,
for every
government
single
investment
dollar
in
the federal government
scientific
takes from
and
the
farm
American
Teen
people.
pregnancy for
And the witness he
transgender
confronted
boys.
today made it painfully clear why these
Do you
agencies
think
feel
that
so
that is
comfortable
a
wasting your
useful
money.
spend of our
They
tax
never
dollars?
expect
I
anyone to
think
push back.
government investment
Gill started by
in all
reading
kinds
off
of
grant
scientific
after
research
grant that had
is
been
of the
cut by
utmost
DOGE,
importance.
Including
and the witness tried
pregnancy
everything to dodge
prevention for
responsibility.
transgender boys.
When he brought
Okay.
up a $1.5 million
Let me ask
NIH
you,
grant for
we
a
can come
project
back to
referring
this
to
later,
birthing
maybe.
people,
Do
she
you
wouldn't even
support
define the
abolishing
term.
the filibuster
She refused
still?
to acknowledge that birthing people simply
I am
means
here to
women.
talk about DOGE
Instead of answering a
respectfully.
basic
Right, we
biological
could abolish
question,
the filibuster
she hid
and get a
behind
lot of
rehearsed
DOGE cuts
lines
through.
and claimed it was
And
outside her
you've
expertise.
written at
This is
length on your
exactly
Twitter
what
about
happens
abolishing
when
the filibuster.
ideology
I'm just curious if
replaces
you think that
reality.
we should do that
Then
still.
Gill pressed her on another
I did a
taxpayer-funded
lot of
grant
previous
studying
work on different
women
topics
and
because
non-binary
I am an economic
mathematicians.
policy expert.
Again,
and
she
respectfully, I'm
defended
here to
all
talk about
government
DOGE
research
cuts.
without
Okay, but
knowing what the research
we
even was.
could abolish the filibuster
These people
and get
aren't
DOGE cuts. This is
evaluating
totally
value.
germane
They're
here.
rubber
Do you think
stamping
we should?
anything that fits a political narrative.
I am here
And
to
when
talk
Gill
about
brought up
DOGE
the grant
cuts,
trying to adapt a
not
teen
strategies
pregnancy
for
program
achieving
for
more of them,
transgender
but the
boys,
harms that they
it
have
showed the full
produced for
absurdity
working
of the
families.
system.
It's a
She didn't know the
convenient change of
details, but
opinion.
insisted the government must
I
fund
noticed that
all
most
types
of your,
of scientific research.
comments
That
about the
answer alone
filibuster
tells you
were during
everything
the
you
Biden
need to know
administration.
about how careless this
But
process has
we can
become.
move on. Let's go back
Gill
to
also
some
confronted
more of
her
these
on her
grants.
public advocacy for abolishing
Do
the
you think
filibuster.
that we should be spending
Suddenly,
money on
she didn't
quote,
want
the
to talk about
racialized
that anymore.
basis of
Funny
trait
how that
judgments from
works.
faces?
When her political opinions aligned with the
I am
Biden
not at all
administration,
familiar with that
she
grant.
shouted
It's a
them from Twitter.
$500,000
But now
NSF
that she's
grant.
testifying in front
Okay,
of Congress,
I am not familiar
she
with
wants to
the subject
pretend she's
matter,
neutral.
or the
But you're-
particular
This hearing
you're
revealed the
defending
real
these.
problem.
I am
Far-left
saying that I
ideology
think
is
the
infecting
government
government
has-
agencies,
Pretty adamant against
replacing
DOGE
science
cuts,
with
and I'm
activism,
asking you if you
and spending
support the
taxpayer
cuts
dollars
I
on
think that there
nonsense
is
while
DOGE has
refusing
found.
to define basic
economic
terms like
and
woman.
medical,
Brandon
public
Gill
health,
held the line,
communal
exposed the evasiveness,
benefit
and
to
showed
government
exactly why
investment.
oversight is
Steroid
desperately
therapy and
needed.
cardiovascular
If the
risk
Democrats'
in the
witnesses can't
transgender
defend the
female.
grants, can't
Again,
define the
I
language,
think government
and can't answer
investment in
simple
scientific
questions,
research
then
is
why are they
important.
being
Thank you for your
trusted with
testimony. I
billions of
appreciate it.
taxpayer
The
dollars?
gentleman's time.